this.
Okay.
But there's a rumor that there's this intimidating toothbrush that's been terrorizing people. And so,
Listen, Linda.
Have you been ran out of your
honey,
home?
listen.
Have you been ran out of your home because of an electric toothbrush or something?
I really did think I was praying over my family. I was praying that we would not have a bomb go off in our home. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
No,
I don't even know.
Do you want me to tell you guys what happened?
I'm afraid to hear this. I'm afraid.
So it was a Monday morning a week ago, and I sleep really hard on Sunday nights because Sunday's a really, really big day for ministry, for worship leading and stuff. And so like I was out and I was awoken from a dead sleep by a terrible noise. And it sounded...
Sounds like a Christmas story.
That's what I was thinking.
And what was the clatter?
Listen, it sounded like someone was sawing through my wall and there was water, like a waterfall. And I called Justin, I put it on speakerphone and I said, babe, this is not good. Like something really, really bad has happened. He's like, I'm just now pulling into the plant. And I'm like, it's really bad. And he goes, okay, I'm pulling away from the plant. and he came home and for 25 minutes, that's how long it takes him. I prayed and I called him again. I said, do I need to take the kids for safety? I got the dogs out of our room because I thought that my room was going to blow up and we were all going to die. I was really, really scared. And he came home and he
what was it, Lindsay? What was it?
He opens the shower door and he said, babe, looks like my toothbrush fell off the ledge and somehow got turned on. Turned the toothbrush off. And we were saved. My hero.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a little bit shocked. So can I speak on behalf of the audience?
Please.
Here's what everybody, y'all feel free to chime in and tell everybody that you're agreeing with me here.
Yes.
So I learned a lot about you already. So here's the question.
Okay.
You know, there are on this planet, when something happens, there are a million possibilities.
Yes.
You went straight to the house is going to blow up.
I went straight to the Lord in prayer.
Well, that
for
was
my house.
After your house is going to blow up. I mean, why couldn't it have been that there is a mole who is bore into your house?
Listen, when I was like in
How about,
middle,
you know,
when
a
I was in
tiny
middle
little-
school, our water
It was
heater
an Al Qaeda
exploded.
mole. It was
okay?
going to blow up, okay?
Our water heater exploded when I was in middle school.
Well,
in the
that's-
bathroom right next to my...
Not only do I, I get a lot out of your sense of humor and just the way, just how kind and open you are, but also just the way you get into things is, for someone like me, it's great to be around because it's shown me a brand new way to be able to live. So I can't possibly say enough good things about you except that I love you.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life. I'm so grateful that God has brought you into my life. As much as you have poured out, I still feel like you are this pool of wisdom that we've yet only had sips of.
The big overarching takeaway for me that I appreciate is you're the real deal, right? You're the genuine article, and you live what you talk about. You don't just say you can do this, you can do that. You actually run and operate and live in that lifestyle business, not just talk about it as a theory.
I'll speak for me for a moment. In my life, oftentimes, I go in and I push that button, and I push it gingerly in the hopes that I can get one of the rings to go up and hit the hook. And whenever it's your turn to talk, you kind of say, Case, move over for a second and take that button and jam it and hit it 19 times to get every ring flying in the air. And that's kind of the feeling that I have whenever you talk. It's like, wait a minute, let's shake this up a little bit. Let's shake the snow globe and see what happens. Like right now, Terry, I am so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes to go back and do about 400 things, of which I might have done one prior to you talking, but you got me so jazzed up to go in there and accomplish something because, often we need people like that, with agitators, somebody to come in and agitate things and say, hey, look, you can do a lot more than you're doing. Look at me. And Terry, I've always liked looking at you, and I'm hopeful that I can be more like you going forward, so thank you for everything.
I'm still blown away by your story. It's incredible. And so it's just so inspiring. And so, I mean, I feel like you embody that. Like when I think about you, it's hard to separate you from that incredible story that you have. And so it's such a gift to us to get to just be in the presence of someone who has that story and who has come as far as you have. And with that, the second word was experience, because with that, you just bring so much experience. There's so much value in what you say. Amazing coach. So like just vast experience. I feel like you're able to speak into so many of our lives in so many different situations. And it's always like on point and helpful and thoughtful. And then the third was humble, because I feel like you do all of that with so much humility. Like you don't, I feel like you don't pat yourself on the back a lot, or, say, oh, I'm this great person. It's kind of hidden behind this, oh, I've just got a little comment here for you, filled with all of this value.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid. Your original story of how you built the piano business and how the market of 2007, 2008, that crash, and how you came back and you built something that is what it is today. And yet here you are.
Hey, Terry. Well, I think today has just demoed exactly the brilliance that you share. The humor, it's guaranteed that every time that Terry's got the mic, there's going to be laughter amongst the group. And I'll extend that into honoring your skills as an interviewer and as a podcast, because I had jumped on a few months ago because I hadn't listened to your podcast, and content can draw us in, but the people who lead the conversation and the skill behind that, I was pleasantly surprised and impressed, and I've kept you in my circle because of that. So I think the lens in which you see the world is so amazingly beautiful. I love that you're real. You talk sports, you talk music, you talk the things that come to our heartbeat of being a part of this country. And it draws people in, and I'm one of those individuals. And I also think you're genuinely gentle, sincere, and you're like, a cousin or an uncle that, I just want to hang out with more and more each time. So you light us up, and that's not something easy to do week in and week out, in just the waves of our own lengths and the commitments that we have in our circles. So I am grateful for all that you bring to us and all that you've shared with us, and definitely the laughter as well. So
what's up, Fire Nation? Another bonus episode coming your way. This one was a great chat. I had a lot of fun with Terry Wilson. Terry is a serial entrepreneur who offers entrepreneurs and solopreneurs the tools, training, and technology needed to earn and enjoy more. For the past 13 years, he's helped thousands of hungry individuals discover their thing, develop the skills to do it, and be given a strategy to deliver it to market and produce value. Terry has a weekly podcast that can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher, and at terrywilson3.com. He also wrote a book called You Are Worth More, which you can check out at youareworthmorebook.com. We have a lot of fun in this episode, Fire Nation. I truly hope you enjoy. It's hard. It is hard work to achieve uncommon success. But you know what else is hard, Terry? Being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it and I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your heart.
Choose your heart. Boy, I love that. Because there's a high cost of low living. And sometimes we think that, we're just going to get out of this easy by taking the path of least resistance. And boy, sometimes the end of that path is just a tiger. I'm telling you, brother,
Identify your big idea. Not be a weak, pale imitation of somebody else's big idea, which most people do. They're like, oh, look at what Terry's doing. He's so successful. Look what John's doing. I'll just copy them. And then you wonder why you fail, because you're a weak, pale imitation of those people and you will never win as a result. You need to come up with your big idea your zone of fire and wake up every day on fire, living that life. That is the life that you deserve. Because what at the end of the day do we really want? Freedom. The ability to wake up and do what we want, where we want to do it, with whom we want to do it with. If you have those three things, what more is there in life? And you can give yourself that gift. Just take it.
Which is identifying, why are you here? You know, I like to say it this way. You're not a cosmic accident. You didn't show up on planet Earth because lightning struck a mud puddle billions of years later and you crawled out. You're a significant person with a significant reason for being here. There's a reason for you to be here. And once you identify that big idea, as John just said it, life becomes, oh my gosh, becomes unimaginable. Give us go ahead.
Just on that point real quick. I mean, I think it's so key for people to understand this, like what Terry is just sharing. There is so much wisdom out there in this world, but there's also so much noise and it's chaotic. And sometimes it's so hard to really cut through all of this and to really get to the meat and potatoes, to really get down to what matters.
Does anyone know Terry's story, what Terry did?
I do.
So Terry sold musical instruments, sold pianos, right? And what was it? Was it 9/11 that created the problem?
Yeah.
9/11 creates a problem. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in town anymore. It's a brick and mortar store. Some woman comes up to him in church, some older woman, and she's like, I was thinking about your problem, and the Lord told me you should sell them on the computer. Sell your pianos on the computer. And Terry's like, that's a great idea. I got to get out of here because you're crazy. So, of course, he does it in that sweet way where he says, oh, bless your heart. And of course, he thinks about it. And then he's like, you know, he told me about the story about, you know, the guy, it's a flood and, you know, you should get out. No, the Lord's going to save me. And at the end, he goes to God and says, why didn't you save me? He's like, I did. You know, I tried. I sent you the news report. I sent you a helicopter. You know. So Terry takes that and he's like, God's telling me what to do here, right? So that was the message. I should sell these things online. His first thought when the woman tells him that is, how am I gonna, because she said her grandson sold CDs.
On eBay.
Yeah, Terry's like, how am I, you could just I can't put a stamp on a piano. This is crazy.
Drop it in the mailbox.
Yeah, so next day, right? The next day he starts sells them out in a week. So he doesn't think about, he doesn't latch on to his idea of I can't ship these things cheaply, right? He just goes past that. He goes, well, what's my first solution? My first solution is I got to sell these things. That's all he's thinking about. He sells out his whole inventory in a week. Then the problem comes to him. How do I get rid of these things? I've now sold them. How do I deliver them? So what would you guys have done?
Hire a U-Haul and drive them out there.
Yeah, that's what Terry did. Terry got a truck and just was like, well, I'm going to take my brother-in-law. We're going to go around the country. We're going everywhere. And he delivered pianos for 2 weeks. That's amazing. And then, you know, and then he's like, oh, and the next thing is I talk to someone and as he goes and he talks to the manufacturer and he's like, so, you know, where are these things? You know, if I want to get them, how do I sell them? And he doesn't go into the conversation with the idea of, I'm going to figure out how to make this more efficient for myself. Or maybe he does to a degree, but he doesn't make that his outward appearance. He's not desperate. He's desperate, but he doesn't portray desperation. He portrays, as he's talking to the person, he's asking them questions about their business, and they give him the keys to the kingdom. They tell him the whole layout. They tell him exactly how to run his business. Now, in Watergate, did you ever hear, like in the first week after Watergate, Woodward and Bernstein spoke to a Spanish guy down in Mexico, and the joke was, he told us exactly what happened, but we don't speak Spanish, so we lost the story. It turns out that was true. They got the whole thing in the first week, but didn't understand it. Terry got the whole thing in the first week and put it together. He hears, you have warehouses all over the country, so why don't I sell them and then you guys will just deliver them locally? He gets that in an instant. He doesn't think about the problem. He doesn't think they're not going to do it, any of this stuff. When I hear about Terry selling them and he just gets in a truck, my first thought with that is, I know.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com.
Decade of helping others
Discover, develop, and monetize your skills and talents at TerryWilson3.com.
This is the Terry Wilson. Really, I'm excited, Terry. I want to get started.
You're the real deal, right? You're the genuine article.
Right now, Terry, I'm so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes to go back and do about 400 things. You got me so jazzed up.
I'm still blown away by your story.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid.
You're like a cousin or an uncle that I just want to hang out with.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life.
Can't possibly say enough good things about you except that I love you.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
It's not Terry Wilson, it's me. Welcome to episode 476. Tonight we're talking with Valerie Williams of TW3Radio.com. You can hear Valerie's show, Dimensional Income Streams, every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on TW3Radio.com. Tonight's show is about taking the mystery out of sales. But first, let's welcome Valerie, and let's talk to her for a moment. Welcome, Valerie. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. So good to be here.
I know we faked you out a little bit. Nobody would know, but I'm actually running late. But let's see, we're here on time.
They see it on time, but we're really not.
This is actually slightly rushed. There's a different pace to it. Well, thank you, Valerie, for coming on. We're happy to have you. If you like and find value in our podcast, please like and share it. If you use the hashtag TW3Podcast476 when you share it, if we see it and find it on any social media site, we'll enter you to win a free copy of the book, You Are Worth More. Don't forget about the You Are Worth More conference. That's coming up September 7th through 9th in Greenville. Tickets are on sale now. Where can they go to get those tickets, Dad?
They can go to TerryWilson3.com right there on the home page, and it'll say buy now.
There you go.
So they definitely want to be there. And Valerie, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I hope we don't wear you out too much with all our sophomoric banter.
You guys are fine. Just glad to be here and enjoying you all.
Oh, we have a good time. Someone said, I cannot believe these people get paid to do this. And I would just like to respond to that person, neither can we.
We are also shocked.
We are also in just absolutely befuddled amazement. So anyway. Well, guys, Valerie tonight, I went ahead and took a sneak peek of her training, and it's a very, very comprehensive training from start to finish on the sales process, what it takes to make a sale, from leads to prospecting to all of that. And so you definitely, in segment 2 coming up here in a minute, will want to have a pen and paper handy. Now, of course, this is recorded, and the beautiful thing about a podcast is you can go back and rewind and listen and all that. So you'll want to do that. But it got me thinking. We're talking about taking the mystery out of sales, and until you understand how to do something, everything's a mystery. It's a mystery how to walk when you're a baby, and then you learn how to walk, and it ain't that big of a mystery. It's a mystery how to do anything. And I thought, what would just a fun conversational piece. And by the way, with you guys that are on with us live tonight, put it in your comments. And here's the question I want to ask, and we'll just go round robin here around the table, and we'll start with Reagan, River, and then Valerie. Feel free to jump in if you want to, but I don't want to put you on the spot. But here's the question. Here's the question I want to put on the table. What activity, what, magic trick, musical performance, athletic feat, what is something that when you first saw it, you was like, oh man, that is amazing. That is a mystery on how they did that. And then you learn how to do it. And it's no longer a mystery. It's like, I can't believe I even thought that was hard to do. I didn't even think that was a mystery, because you know the trick now. You know what they're doing. You know the sort of the how-to behind it. So I want to go to round robin here. What's something that you saw? It could be as simple. It could be complex. Well, Reagan, starting with you, what's something that was always a mystery to you until you figured out how to do it?
First thing that comes to mind was like 4 or 5 years ago when I really, really got into running.
Yeah,
I was always really impressed by guys that could do a mile under 7 minutes. So guys that were running like a 6:36 pace.
Yeah.
I mean, they would do it for 3 miles or so. It's like, that's incredible. Like, that's an athletic feat. And I'm sure if there's any runners on here, they're like, that's not. But for me, like growing up,
It's all a matter of perspective, isn't it?
It's like I'm naturally a little bit more like bulkier and stuff. So, running was always difficult for me.
You're welcome.
But as I trained it and stuff, and as I like started to cut weight and get a little bit smaller and running became easier, I was running 6-minute paces and I was pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah.
Work related. This one's really quick, but I used to work at Chick-fil-A and I was our closer. So what my job was, one of the jobs I would do is I counted all the drawers in every like cashier's register, and then I would count our safe. So like the 10 extra drawers we had. Essentially what that means is it's our way to track to make sure we're not, nobody's stealing money, which was rarely ever the case. It was more if somebody made a mistake, they handed too much cash back or got too little back. But all the managers before me would do that in like 30 minutes. They would count like 12 different drawers, and you're counting like thousands of dollars in cash. And for me, I guess I've got undiagnosed ADHD where like I would get halfway through it, and if you lose your place, you got to recount it because then your number's off. And, and then they track you and make sure that your count was good too. So it's like there was like a solid 3 weeks that I was just like, I don't understand how you guys do this. I'm screwing it up every night because people come in and ask you questions. You're counting like, I'm at 10,000 something. I'm like, shut up.
Math is hard.
But eventually I got it because then
because you figure it out.
You just start figuring out like, oh, okay.
You pick up the skill set.
This is what it takes to do it.
Yeah.
Same for anything, I'm sure.
Sure. River?
I would say video editing. Whenever I was super into video editing, I always thought it was something like coding or something like really complicated.
Yeah.
And not to undermine the talent of video editing that people have, but it just wasn't as complicated as it looks.
Once you know the little tricks.
Yeah, once you can find out it's not this big thing, you can kind of cut corners and still make this big thing.
Right.
It was something that was like, okay, this is
some of your video edit. Have you seen some of the videos he did?
I remember he was really young to do it.
I mean, you picked it up pretty quick. I don't know if most people can pick up your video editing chops, but I mean, he would have these magic tricks, and it was, of course, you guys' generation, it wasn't anything, but my generation, I mean, your Uncle Chris, Chris Rupert, funny man Chris.
Throw him under the bus real quick.
Well, let's throw him under the bus. He would always like, dude, how's he doing that? That is just like, and it looks like
part of the fun was River was 10 years old and he would record a video of himself talking in the mirror and it's like completely streamlined, and you'd watch it and you'd be like, this is weird. How
is he doing that?
Yeah. It was fun.
So Valerie, you got anything that was a mystery to Valerie and then she sort of saw behind the curtain and all of a sudden the mystery was removed?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, but the first thing that comes to my mind, and I actually did a interview with one of my mentors, and it was just success, like some of the hidden secrets of successful people, like what they do.
Yeah.
And we complicate things so much, but it is like the simplest thing. Like they start their day off with some type of motivation or some type of exercise or just something, music that just really kicks them into gear, and that simple little thing is like a trick to their success.
That's true. We get in our way a lot, don't we? In a lot of areas, we overcomplicate the thing because I think I'm going to use a couple examples. I'm going to use music first because I think it's so apropos to even business. You see these people you put on these pedestals and they're very successful and they're doing this and they're doing that and they're doing this, and gosh, it just looks so amazing because you see the results of what they're getting. And then you start picking up on the skill sets and some of the things and seeing the activity. It's not as complicated as we try to make it out. And I'll use music as an example. My favorite trombone player growing up was Jimmy Pankow from Chicago. And he's still a great horn player, and I'm not trying to belittle anything, but I would listen to him to play a solo, and he'd rip a solo. I mean, just, man, he would move you with his music, at least he did me, because that was... But then as I study the craft and I start understanding, there's really about 2 or 3 basic things if you learn how to do. You could do that all day long. It's not hard. Number one, you got to have chops. You got to be able to hit those high notes. Okay, so that's just craft. That's just working on it. Number 2, he mastered the triplet. You know, the triplet is just a rhythmic pattern that he puts in a lot of his solos. It sounds so. John Bottom did it on the bass drums. You know, it's a musical pattern that you put across a standard 4/4 timing, and it puts hair on the back of your neck. And in 3, he understood the pentatonic scale, scale, rhythm, and chops. There's only 3 things. Now, of course, that's like saying there's only 3 things to golf: driving, short game, and putting.
Easier said than done.
So you can oversimplify. But at the end of the day, everything breaks down to, if you just understand a few and get good in these 3 areas. To me, what it did for me is it narrowed my vision. And it got me focused. Okay, I need to work on lip slurs so I can hit that high C, that high F. I need to work on, you know, this pattern and this rhythmic pattern over here. You know, ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da, you know, that triplet thing that he was doing. And I got to understand these different scales and these different keys. If I do that, and then all of a sudden the whole world opens up to me. Now that's a musical one. And I, as everybody knows, I'm a big eater. It's obvious if you've watched any of my podcasts, you know, I like my food. But I love burgers. I'm just a burger fan. I've always loved burgers. One of my favorite. America. Woo! Apple pie, burgers, and baseball. I'm a simple dude. But one of my favorite restaurants, I always was just like, hey, they got the best burgers. I don't know how this restaurant makes these burgers. I mean, it's just amazing. And I was talking to one of our mutual friends going down to a game, and he just scoffed one time when I said it, because he just like, all you got to do is have a flat top and put it on here, and you could make the same. I was like, he just, now this guy, he's going to be on the Food Network here in the next quarter. He's got his own show. He knows what he's talking about, but I just blew him off. Idiot. He don't know what you're talking He's about. A barbecue guy trying to talk about burgers. So finally, I got this Blackstone griddle that you guys gave me for Father's Day, and I've been playing with it. So I Googled how to make this particular, and it's real simple.
Everybody's going to ask what restaurant you're referring to.
Five Guys.
Yeah, Five Guys. Yeah.
I love Five Guys.
It's a great burger.
It's a great burger. But I love their burgers, and I was just like, I went on YouTube and saw all you have to do is it's a mash burger. You just smash it down and season it with just salt. I mean, it was so simple. And I'm telling you, I would rather eat my burgers and go out now. I mean, but here again, the mystery is removed. Yeah. It's amazing. Once you understand the craft and the skills and everything, you too can have a great burger. But anyway, tonight we're talking about how to take the mystery out of sales. And Valerie has got a wonderful training come up. You got to stay tuned for that. And then in segment 3, we're going to be taking your questions. And in segment 4, we got some great announcements of some things that's coming up in just a moment. So stay tuned for that. And when we get back, you're going to hear Miss Valerie Williams of TW3Radio.com on how to take the mystery out of sales when we get back right after this.
Do it. If he could do it.
This isn't a movie.
He believed in himself. And you can too.
Oh man, you gonna put it on me like that?
You can do anything that you want. You can get singing lessons, get a better job, make more money. You could be even like rich. You could live in the White House someday. You could be president.
Me?
Do what you want to do. It's not up to other people.
It's true.
It's up to you.
Salary is the drug they give you when they want you to forget about your dreams, because it's very easy to stay in that world where somebody is mitigating your risk. You just have to perform certain tasks, do them well for a third of your day, and they will feed you a salary.
Start building your dreams today at TerryWilson3.com.
Say goodbye to 2020 and hello to 2021. It's time to target our goals for this year, like the goal to be successful. We can do this by exploring new things, following influential people, and giving back to get more. Maybe our goal is to get to know ourselves better by reading more or listening to things which inspire us to push ourselves and follow through so that we can be our best self and get ahead to feel great. So whatever your goals for 2021, find what you're looking for at theleadertree.com, where leadership grows. So check us out Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern at tw3radio.com and theleadertree.com, because strong roots build stronger skills.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com.
Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
I'm going to keep pestering you until you get my own, but we're back. Let's get into that training now with Valerie on how to take the mystery out of sales.
Thank you, Terry, for that warm welcome. Always good to be here with the TW3 family. And you know how I like to do, so let's just get right on into tonight's training. Tonight, I want to discuss taking the mystery out of sales, sales and lead generation. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word sales? Is it money, a negative or a positive experience that you've had, commission only, that high pressure sale and quotas? Depending on your response, this is going to really shine a light on your overall attitude and even your experiences that you've had with sales and going forward in your sales journey. Are you still thinking about that sleazy salesperson or that pushy salesperson? You know, the list goes on. We all have had our share of experiences in sales, whether you're on the giving or the receiving end. But what's really behind an attitude or a belief system that's not positive, even skeptical when it comes to sales? One word, and that is fear. Even the best or natural born salesperson has a fear when it comes to sales, even though they may not want to admit it. For example, their definition of fear may be different, as their fear would naturally be not making that initial sale to begin with and continuing to move on until they make that next sale. It all depends on where they are in the sales process and the internal and their external factors. Now, we all love a good reality TV show. We all want the realness. We all want to see what's going on behind closed doors when nobody else is looking, what makes that person really tick. You know, we all, to be honest, love a little bit of drama, but a drama that has a good ending. I want to switch up a little bit in my presentation and training tonight and show you all some sales prospecting statistics. I'm going to show you three areas of statistics within the sales process that begin with our sales prospecting, the actual sales call, along with the follow-up process. So within our sales prospecting statistics, I found an article from HubSpot written by Asia Frost. The title of the article is called 60 Key Sales Statistics That'll Help You Sell Smarter in 2021. More than 40% of salespeople say that this is the most challenging part of the sales process, followed by closing 36% and qualifying 22%. Now, if you find prospecting to be the most difficult part of your job, you're not alone, Asia Frost says in her article. 19% of buyers want to connect with a salesperson during the awareness stage of their buying process, when they're first learning about the product. 60% want to connect with the sale during the consideration stage. They've researched the options and they've produced a short list. 20% want to talk during the decision stage once they decided which product to buy. Now, it takes an average of 18 calls to actually connect with a buyer. Only 24% of sale emails are actually opened, and 9 in 10 companies use 2 or more lead enrichment tools to learn more about prospecting. Now, as we switch up to the next portion of our statistics, this is the sales call statistics, where Asia Frost states that 41.2% of salespeople said their phone is the most effective tool at their disposal. 42% of people would be encouraged to make a purchase if the sales rep called back in an agreed upon specified time. 57% of people said that they would be encouraged to make a purchase from a salesperson who doesn't try to apply pressure or hassle them during the follow-up. Now, Gong.io, that's Gong.io, analyzed over 100,000 connected outreach calls and found that successful salespeople talk for 54% of the call, while unsuccessful salespeople spent 42% of their time speaking. The use of collaborative words had a positive impact on the calls, and using words such as we instead of I increased success rates by 35%. Using "did I catch you at a bad time" makes you 40% less likely to book a meeting, while asking "how are you" increased your likelihood of booking a meeting 3.4 times. 63% of sales leaders believe that virtual meetings are just as or more effective than in-person meetings. Now, the last portion of our stats is the follow-up in the sales process. 60% of customers say no 4 times before saying yes, whereas 48% of salespeople never even make a single follow-up attempt. 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls, whereas 44% of salespeople give up after 1 follow-up call. 75% of online buyers want to receive between 2 to 4 phone calls before a company actually gives up on them. 12% would like a company to try as many times as it takes to get a hold of them. This thing called fear. So as we've looked over the various stats in sales, how do we deal with these various levels of fear that we face, whether it's us internally or with the person that we're speaking with, our prospects, our clients, the apprehension, the anxiousness, the stress that we even put on ourselves that's unnecessary, a private battle. Whatever's the sphere, whatever the level of fear, how do we in fact combat that? Now, knowledge, wisdom, trainers, coaches, mentors play a huge role in combating our various levels of fear. You know, we are selling every day in some capacity. Think about, your friends, your family, your colleague, maybe even that invitation to dinner or an outing, a collaboration, all examples of us selling. Whatever level of fear, your trigger, the apprehension, anxiety, the stress one has in their life, any negative thought patterns, that internal conversation, it can all cause us to sabotage ourselves and our forward progress. When it comes to sales, think about that product or the service that you truly believe in and why you purchased that product. What are some of the benefits that led you to that purchase? When you're selling, think about what it is that you're actually selling, why you believe in the product or the service that you're selling. There's always a common denominator. The values, the mission statement of the company that you're selling that product or service on behalf of, the traits that you identified with that company that so resonated with you. Look for those common denominators. Now, lastly, with common denominators, when you have a product or a service that you're excited about, you want to shout from the mountaintops about that product or service. It's that word of mouth. You know, I have the title of this screen title, I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. You think of that song. And that truly is what happens when we find a product or a service that works for us because it solves a problem. It has changed our life in some shape or form. Knowledge really is key and it really is power. You know, as the good book says, the Bible, the word of the Lord, we perish for lack of knowledge. So let's shift a little bit as we continue on into this presentation and talk about the lifeblood of any business, which of course is our sales and our leads. We've all heard that no leads, no sales, no sales, no business. You simply just have a hobby. No matter what niche or industry of business, sales are definitely required. There is no way around it. Now, our sales come from our leads. The more leads you have, the more likelihood that you're going to have a sale. Now, we have all heard of multiple income streams. The same is true for multiple lead generation and having the tools to obtain these leads. Getting it in front of people and staying in front of people is the name of the game. You know, the various sources, and this is one of the pillars of the TW3 platform, is multiple lead generation. You know, the sources that we have within the TW3 platform, you know, intranet leads, social media, the different forms of how we can do our marketing and sales to generate these leads through ad copy, you know, native ads, and all the different types of ads that are out there. You know, the data scraper that we have within our platform, and there's so much more. Now, there truly is a light bulb moment that happens when you have multiple guns firing off. A steady and a healthy flow of leads coming in each day does something to your psyche. A light, you know, that true light bulb moment, you know, I had that about a week ago, 2 weeks ago with the leads that I had coming in. You know, it really, your momentum, the motivation, your mood, your attitude, all begin to increase favorably. Now, there's a positive firing of what I call endorphins, not dolphins, endorphins, which are the chemically produced naturally by the nervous system that helps us to cope with pain and stress. They're often called feel-good chemicals because they can act as a pain reliever, but also a happiness booster. Now, when we think about leads and prospects, there really truly is a difference. And what is the difference between a lead versus a prospect? A lead is a person that has three components. They have a want, they have a need, and they can also afford that product or service that you have. Now, a prospect, in my terminology, is an individual that's lacking in one of these three areas. They may be able to see the value and the need for it. They may desire and want your product and service, but they can't afford it. So let's continue on. So where do we obtain our leads for our business? How do we address the three areas that we mentioned about satisfying that want, the need, as well as the affordability, which is so crucial in our day and time, especially coming out of COVID and people opening up their doors and trying to fully staff their business? Affordability is key. The answer is actually with a good business platform and development tool. And as I mentioned, one of the pillars of the TW3 platform is the infamous lead generation suite. Within the TW3 platform, all members have access to this multiple lead generation suite, and it can be found on your dashboard under lead systems. And within the TW3 lead generation suite, you have access to a plethora of lead generation tools. And I want to share maybe 2 or 3 of those lead tools with you. One of them is called the Daily Opted Exclusive Internet Lead. And these are exclusive leads that we have not marketed, nor sold to anyone else. And what the lead data will include is their name, their cell phone number, IP address of their opt-in permission, how they're generated and guaranteed based on the quality and the accuracy of their information. There's also what we have called a data scraper, which is a lead generation platform for small businesses, marketing agencies, and sales teams to find new leads. Within this data scraper, it supports any type of industry, which is one of the key components of the TW3 platform, is that we're not limited to a particular industry or a niche. Also with the data scraper is the social media profiles that you can extract. Multiple cities you can also extract, multiple categories at the same time, and it supports over 30 countries. There's a CSV and Excel export format, and it integrates with many popular apps and so much more. Now, within the TW3 back office, there is also within our members area on our dashboard, steps 1 through 6. And step number 4, within the sales funnel training, there's a section called Facebook traffic. There's also a section number 5, which has the LinkedIn hack, which are 2 additional areas for lead generation. Now, each video training is about 14 to 16 minutes in length. So follow up with your trainer if you are fairly new to the TW3 platform, or if you're on listening tonight for the first time. Follow up with the person that invited you, follow up with your trainer, and discuss what traffic source is best for you at this stage of your journey with the TW3 platform. If you're a seasoned TW3 member, I encourage you to revisit these tools and dig in more. Are you using everything that is in your toolbox? Are you reviewing your weapons? Are you sharpening your weapons? So I encourage the seasoned TW3 members to revisit these lead generation tools and see if you are utilizing them, see if you may have forgotten some, or maybe you just need to go back and revisit a strategy that you haven't implemented in a while. The TW3 product and services aids the small business owner, as a lot of us know on tonight that are listening, and it aids the entrepreneur in achieving so many objectives. You know, we've heard that the TW3 platform is a business toolbox. It's a business in a box. It's a business platform. It's a development platform. But it also provides, again, as I mentioned, one of our pillars, lead generation, but it provides multiple income streams, marketing and sales strategies, a professional community that includes trainings, motivational and inspirational teachings and trainings, coaching, consulting, and so much more. What are the strengths within the TW3 platform that a majority of us have access to that are listening tonight and watching tonight? 3 areas. There's the product and the service for all industries. We're really not limited to an industry. What business do you know today? How many businesses can you think of today that are not limited to industry or by niche. We have real estate, insurance, healthcare, car dealerships, the travel industry, and the list goes on. Our lead generation, which has been our main topic of discussion tonight, that involves social media, internet leads, our CRM, our customer reporting management system that maintains our leads, our lead scrapers, text bulk, data, text bulker, and emailer, so much more. The multiple income streams, another strength of the TW3 platform that provides us with residual income. Our referral marketing package, our blogging and writing, recruiting that we do, and podcasting and writing. That is going to wrap it up for me tonight. Thank you all for being a part, listening, watching. Terry, as always, thank you for providing me with this opportunity, for giving me a platform, and just really giving me a shopping cart, shopping mall, however you want to term it, where I can actually feast from. This is going to do it for me tonight. I'm Valerie Williams of Dimensional Talent Streams. Have a good night.
If you had to properly follow up with every single lead you had, how long would it take you? How effective would you be? And can you do it on their time frame that's right for them? The power of the CRM Max by TW3 is it allows you to put all of your sales process on automation. That way, when you're asleep, when you're in bed, your system is working for you. It's following up. It's responding as they respond. It's being triggered based on their activity. It's sending them the sales information they're needing. It's following up with the information after it's sent out. It's sending it in email and text format, and it even can do, in some instances, voice broadcast as well. That is the power of the CRM Max at TW3, and that is why our members, one person, can generate business that it usually takes an agency to do, because we have the tools, the training, the technology, and more importantly, the know-how on how to do it.
Everybody, Miss Bellingby here. I thought I'd pop in real quick from the beautiful Alamo City to let you know about my new show, Look Up with Lori Brown. I'd be honored and grateful if you'll join me on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And I'll be talking and interviewing people about how to walk through that. If you'd like to connect or you have questions, you can reach me at LoriBrown7.com. My show will be streaming on TW3radio.com and the TW3 Radio app, and I can't wait to see you there. So when you feel like you're standing in stony ground, it's time to look up with Lori Brown. See you soon.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
Alrighty, we're back. We're in segment 3. This is when we do our questions. If you have questions that you'd like us to ask on the podcast and answer for you, you can go to terrywilson3.com/contact and send those in. Let's go ahead and get into this first question. I want to do something on my own to start my own business. I've been dreaming about it for years. However, I'm just nervous that I'll invest a lot of time, energy, and money with little to no return. I've tried a health and wellness MLM 10 years ago. And I did nothing but buy tons of product, go to a lot of meetings, and lose a ton of money. Sorry to be skeptical, but I am. That's a good question. That's a fair question, too.
That's very fair, because the numbers are horrid when it comes to making money in these type of network marketing, home-based business. Nothing that I'm not necessarily against them. It's just the numbers are what they are. Yep. I'll throw that to Valerie first. Valerie, what would you tell someone that's, hey, I've tried this home-based business type stuff before. I've got a dream. I want to do it. It's just my experience has not been positive. What could you share with them to maybe give them a strategy to have better outcomes?
I would say to think about what is important to you with the business experience or the business that you want to get into. What are some of the values? For example, with the TW3 platform, one of the things that I identified with immediately, and I recognized that the opportunity was right for me, was the multiple income streams. So I would say to that individual to think about what resonates with you with the opportunity that is coming to you, as far as their mission statement, their values. And again, I talk about that a little bit in tonight's training.
Yes, you did.
That really needs to ring home for you, so that when that opportunity comes to you, you immediately recognize, because it resonates with you, it checks off some of the boxes as far as what's important to you.
Yeah. Knowing about what you're about, because if you're just getting into a business to just chase money, even if you gain the money, it's not going to be sustainable, because it's not you. It's not what you're about. Now, if you are into health and wellness and fitness, and that resonates with you, and I know it does with a lot of people. I mean, as I've gotten more and more healthy, I'm actually really getting more and more into that and studying things, because you're attracted to what you're into. But set yourself up for success. And there's several things I could answer to that person's question as well. Of course, what Valerie's saying is about your priorities, what's your values, going after. But then set yourself up for success as well. And what Valerie was just talking about with that multiple income streams, sometimes that's a buzzword and people get triggered by that. Because I say it as well, but let me just break that down so it doesn't have to be quote unquote mysterious. It doesn't have to be this buzzword that you automatically think people are talking about this type of business when you say multiple income streams or passive income streams. Because I know that language is used a lot with a lot of people. And so sometimes it has a different connotation than what we even mean by it. So let me be very explicit. One of the benefits of our platform is this: you're not pigeonholed in any niche. If you like health and wellness, great. If you like real estate, great. If you like restaurant, great. If you like ministry and coaching, great. You can literally be in any business you want, because every business has this one common denominator, and that is you got to have people. If you don't have people, you don't have a business, you have a hobby, as Valerie liked to say in her training, because that's something I've been saying for years. It takes those qualified leads, taking a prospect, turning them into a lead, taking a lead and turning them into a client. That's what it takes. And most of the time, home-based businesses are always focused on your warm market, that network marketing. Call your friends, family, and foes. Get out your high school yearbook. Get out your college yearbook. Get out your church directory. Get out, your neighborhood app and all, and just bug the pee out of everybody who may or may not be interested in anything that you're offering. That's not a sustainable business for most people, and that's why it's very difficult. Our business says, okay, define, like Valerie just said, define what it is you're after, what kind of business you want in, and then take this tool, target specific people that would be inclined for that product, good, or service, drive tons of traffic to a calendar that they're standing in line to talk to you, and then you only talk to qualified people, and you're never bugging your friends and family, and you do it within our business model. We show you how to monetize it 5 ways from Sunday. I mean, we show you how to make money even when you don't make a sale. Then you're going to find success. You're going to be happy because you're going to be doing something. You're going to be doing something in an industry you love, and you're going to be doing it in a way that doesn't make people, oh God, here comes Terry. What is it?
Yeah.
It's just a great business model.
Jordan Belfort had a great quote on what it takes to do good sales.
Yeah.
And that's finding somebody that needs your product, that wants your product.
That's pretty much it.
The reason that salespeople get a niche or a stereotype that, they're kind of sleazy, and that's because we deal with certain, salespeople that sell things that aren't great.
Yeah.
Like used cars, can somebody sometimes crap out on you, and then you kind of look back to the sales guy and be like, you knew this was a piece of garbage, and you still sold it to me.
Yeah, still sold it to me.
I think what our business sort of mitigates is a lot of people, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people need what we do. And that alone, takes a lot of the hardship out of sales.
Takes a lot of the hardship out of it. And then the other thing is with the new way of financing that we brought on makes it, because let's just be honest. Some people that are not used to selling high ticket items, most people, I would say 99% of people, are not used to saying, okay, I've got this value, this value, this value. Now I need, $3,500 off the hip. That's hard for a lot
it's a hard swallow.
It's a hard swallow.
Yeah.
But if you can tell somebody, hey, I'm going to put you in a position where you never have to cold call. All you have to do is wake up in the morning, look at your calendar, start calling people back as the times are set up for you. Here's the script to read. Here's all the content to send them. And when you close a sale, you're going to make anywhere from $700 to $1,750. And if you don't make a sale, you're going to make anywhere from $5 to $10 per client. And, well, what's all this going to cost me? Nothing down and $89 per month with approved credit. And at the most, a couple $100 down. When you can put them in that kind of position.
Which is not bad for our commissions either.
No. And then all of a sudden, you're kidding. No, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a great position to be in. What else you got?
Second question here. I need leads for my clothing business that I've started. Will this help and how?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll help you with your content marketing because we offer a blog. It'll help you with your social media marketing because we show you how to use that and drive leads to opt-in forms. It will help you because if your clothing line has a particular demographic, like for instance, maybe your clothing line is for females between an age group or whatever because it's athletic wear, or maybe it's for older people, or maybe it's whatever. Every clothing line, I don't care what it is, has a target avatar, a demographic that they're going after.
Has a certain audience.
Has a certain audience. Maybe it's urban. Well, then you're not going to go out to the country, and market it to Bubba. You're going to go right into downtown Atlanta, and talk
if I'm a Forever 21, spinoff, then I'm going from like 16 to about 25, and that's where I'm staying.
Yeah, you're going to get smart with who your avatar is. You're going to use these tools to target them. And then you're just going to drive leads to, and we even have online shopping carts and all that other stuff. So we literally have the entire business infrastructure that you would put your clothing line in. And it handles everything from generating leads to qualifying the leads to selling it to them through the online shopping cart and even distribution and auto texting and all that with our CRM and stuff. So absolutely. Good question.
Third question here. I spoke to a rep 2 years ago, but the timing wasn't right. I want to get started, but they're no longer in the business. How can I start?
Yeah, so that happens all the time. We call you an orphan sale. Orphan sales are when people get in our business, they get hot to trot, they generate tons of leads, and then for whatever reason, they peter out and don't stick with it or whatever, or interest change, or it's not nefarious. It's just they're no longer doing it. Well, people tend to. Hey, I'm ready to do something, and the guy that I want to do it with isn't there. And so what we tell you to do is go over to terrywilson3.com/start, fill that out. Don't put a rep's name down or just put your own name down, and then we will
go ahead and put Reagan down.
Yeah, we will assign you to someone. No, what we do is we try to figure out what part of the country you're coming from, what industry background are you from, and we try to match you up with one of our elite trainers if you want. So that's what we do there. So we can definitely help you there. When we get back, we got some announcements we want to give you. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up here at TW3. Want to make sure you understand that. Want to thank Valerie for tonight. I know she's going in and out I think she's got a thunderstorm up there, and I think she dropped off the call again, so I apologize to Valerie, but she did a great job. Make sure you give her a shout out tonight and give her a thumbs up in the chat room, guys. And when we get back, we got a couple announcements, and we will get you knowing what to know for this week. We'll get back right after this. 98% of people who've tried a home-based business and didn't work out the way you wanted. Most home-based businesses and most people who try a home-based business have a hard time. And here's the reason why. It's not about them. They can do it. You can do it. But you're set to fail right from the get-go because you lack one unique thing you've got to have. And that is a means, a method, mechanism, in other words, a way of getting in front of people who need what you have, who want what you have a desire for it that you can sell to. When you have the TW3 marketing system, you have everything you need to get in front of as many people as you want on demand and make money. And here's the other beautiful thing. You're selling products of high commission. You're going to make anywhere from $750 up to $18,000. If you get 25 qualified leads that come through your sales system and funnel that we teach you how to set up at TW3, you are going to sell one and you're going to make a minimum of $750. That's the power of TW3. That's the power of our system. That's why so many people have been with us for so long after all of these years online. Tools have changed. Technology has changed. The training has changed. But one thing that hasn't changed is the ability to get in front of people, and that's why you can make money at TW3.
Earners are learners and leaders are readers. If you want to go to the next level, you do have to grow to the next level. And that's why I offer free audiobooks at terrywilson3.com/free book. That's terrywilson3.com/free book. When you go over there, you're going to get to try the service out for 30 days free. No obligation. And you get a free audiobook just for checking it out at terrywilson3.com/free book.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com.
Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
Which button am I using here?
Welcome back to the show with Terry Wilson. Welcome back.
Obviously, Dad has got the controls.
What does it take to get licensed music on here? You can stream to YouTube, right?
Well, the thing is with YouTube, it's not with, if we weren't streaming on YouTube, because our radio station pays for the licensing through what we're doing there. So on the radio side, that's why we play commercial music over there. But we're streaming this on YouTube and also on Facebook. And sometimes they get squirrely and all that, so we just have to go with the generic stuff.
I think it would just be cool if we all picked an intro for ourselves each week. But
yeah, I do too. I mean, listen, I still want to use.
Should use CCR. I feel like that would fit perfect.
Are you saying my southern dialect demands a twang in the bumper music?
No, it just has a I don't know, that Forrest Gump, where they go into Vietnam and they're flying. I like that.
I hear you. Well, we had we had a great show tonight. A couple things we want to make sure you're aware of. Number one, next Monday night, 9 p.m., guess who's going to be in the studio with us?
Gary
Greenbacks himself, the Rainmaker, is coming in, and he's going to be sharing his wisdom, and so we look forward to having him. So that's going to be great. This coming Wednesday night, if you are an Elite member, you're going to want to be on the live training. I've got some qualifying questions I want to introduce to you that's going to help you. I call them knockout questions, because here's the deal, guys.
I like that where this is going already.
Yeah, just because someone can buy our system
doesn't mean they should.
Doesn't mean they should. And just because somebody wants to buy our system doesn't mean they should. Entrepreneurialism is for everyone, but not for every mindset. Entrepreneurialism is for everyone, but it is not for every mindset. And I don't want anyone to be insulted. This is not a value-based, one mindset's better than the other. I personally believe it is, but you do you. I mean, but within the entrepreneurial mindset, there's a lot of things that have to be in place for that person to find success, to find the fortitude and the stick-to-itiveness for them to realize their dreams. And stresses of life, situations in life, all of those things that we all go through, but some process it different. And those who have a different outtake on life and outlook struggle with entrepreneurialism. And so there are a couple questions I want to put before our Elite members Wednesday night that's going to help you and help me knock out the ones that need to be knocked out and help them. And the way you're going to help them is by telling them no. because no sometimes is the best answer to a question people could hear. And so I say this with all sincerity. We here at TW3 want to help people, not hurt people. And that's why we offer a way to get started with no out-of-pocket expense, no financing, no anything. Just become an affiliate and dip your toes in the water. We offer 98% of the people we speak with, we try to encourage them to go into an hourly and salary position because if you don't have the self-motivation to say, I'm going to go to the trainings, I'm going to take the training, I'm going to learn the system, I'm going to try and fail, I'm going to go in and sign up for that 90-day money made guarantee, which is an accountability program is what it is. We say you got to do this, and this if we want us to guarantee, because what are we guaranteeing? We're guaranteeing activity. Because we realize certain activity will generate results. We're not guaranteeing your efforts. We're not guaranteeing your wishes. We're not guaranteeing your hopes. We're not guaranteeing your best motivations. We're guaranteeing what you actually do. If you will perform and do these tasks, you will see results with our tools. Because we know the tools work, and we know the tools used a certain way will work. What we can't guarantee is, well, I wanted to, I tried to, this is what I was hoping for. That's not... as they say in insurance, that's not something we can underwrite. You just can't. It's uninsurable. So we want to work with our elite members, because what we have found as we've made TW3 easier to become a member of, that's good, and it does have a downfall. And so we just want to guard against that. That's all, and make sure that everybody is being helped. You got anything?
I only read the headlines, so I'm not going to be there because I think I got what I needed out of what you just said right there. Just kidding.
I hear you. Well, again, Valerie, thank you for being on tonight. Sorry you couldn't stick with us in the last segment because we know you're out there with thunderstorms going on, but we appreciate you. And make sure you tune in to Valerie Williams every Thursday night at 6 p.m. on Dimensional Income Streams there at TW3radio.com. Until next time, we will see you later.
Thank you for listening to our show today at TerryWilson3.com.
Get a free sample copy of the book You Are Worth More by going to TerryWilson3.com now.
If you would like more information on how we can take your money, your business, and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at TerryWilson3.com.